Hello and welcome to today's Stocks and Crypto TA Charts live stream with me, No FOMO Charts. Today is Sunday, July 17th, 2022. It's about 8:30 p.m. Just want to welcome you to the live stream. I am streaming live right now on YouTube, TradingView, and Twitch. Follows and donations are always appreciated to keep the streams going and the ideas flowing. The social media links are in my profile and signature. All content is not financial advice. Let's start with stocks. We're going to start with S&P 500 futures. So please keep in mind that we are in stock market earnings season, week number 2 for quarter 2 of this year. Last week was a bit of a mixed earnings with the financial companies and also with the economic data releases. So this week there's an interesting mix of companies. Let me go ahead and bring up my Discord a little bit just to show the list on the screen. So for this week, we have a mixture of bank stocks, finance stocks, and then we have Netflix. That's the big one for tech this week. United Airlines, American Airlines, Alaska Airlines, and then Twitter on Friday, as well as Verizon. So most likely people are going to watch Johnson & Johnson, Netflix, and Twitter because of the news. We also have some home sales data, manufacturing data, unemployment claims, services, and manufacturing PMI data that's coming out as well. So what does that mean for the stock market? Well, it will likely move the Dow Jones and the S&P and the NASDAQ some. You know, the big tech earnings is at the last week of this month, basically. But financial earnings were kind of mixed, so that's sort of a yellow light for me. Now let's get into the TA. So our S&P 500 futures, in the long term, we're still in the downtrend. Okay, you can see in the yellow line, we're still in the downtrend, the trend lines. All right, but what happened was we did break out, we held support, and we did break out above the trend line. So let me go ahead and erase these purple lines to understand. It's essentially this kind of channel in the short term, this little consolidation wedge right now. It could be viewed two ways. It could be viewed as a bullish breakout on the day trading, or there was a double top into a consolidation. So this could actually also be some kind of channel, which we have here on the charts as well. You can see the support level of 3760 was tested multiple times, so I'll just highlight that for next time. If we ever lose that 3750, 3760, then that would signal more downtrend ensuing. But for now, it's just consolidating right now, which means the stock market is right now just processing, digesting earnings, and also the FOMC meeting at the last week of this month, June. So I just leave it at that. I might not spend so much time on each ticker today, but the weekly, we did bounce above the 200 EMA. There's some MACD histogram momentum on the weekly that I'm watching, on the daily as well. Still in an open cross, but losing a little bit of momentum on that daily. The 4-hour attempted to bounce as well, did the 1 hour as well. So I should point out here on the 1 hour chart, at least on futures, because the USA stock market is closed at the time of this video, but it looks like we could, because the RSI is on the overbought range, we might get this pullback in the swing trading medium term time frame. So let me just call this out. We could get pullback 38.55, 38.40, 38.30, and that kind of range, right? High, low, something like that. If it's going to pull back, it might not. But if it happens, that's the support level. All right, let's move on to S&P 500 futures. So S&P 500 futures still consolidating right now. We hit our resistance targets and our support targets. So I'm going to just remove those drawings because we can see that we have the gap support in multiple places. Again, the consolidation is taking place right now in the market. Symmetrical triangle, essentially. There's a larger one down here. We could draw that one. So what does that mean? Market's kind of undecided right now. Are we going to recession? Yes or no? What's the data telling us right now? What's the earnings? That's the kind of feeling that we're getting from this chart visually through the data. So on a weekly chart, however, we didn't quite touch the 200 EMA, but this MACD histogram is building. We did double bottom on the RSI. Same deal with the MACD is open here, and it's still in the consolidation price going sideways. The support's 376. If we lose that, probably see some more downside. But the 4 hour becomes very clear abundantly in terms of the price. Just consolidating right now. Switch to an hourly, it's still there. 15-minute, let's see if we pull back. 15 minutes a little bit neutral, 15-minute up crossed, but the 1 hour and the 4 hour, the 1 hour, so maybe in a couple days from now, we might see in a day or two, depending on the earnings, a pullback, possibly a pullback, and then maybe one more test of the top side resistance on top. We'll see. QQQ. Actually, let me go to that was just SPY, SPY. Let's go to NQ1 futures. So NQ1, the Twitter, last week was a really interesting week because of Twitter news. We just pulled back, we crashed, flash crashed, but then some good economic data and then some positive earnings to end the week. So that's why we popped up. But this looks more like an ascending triangle on the daily, but because of earnings, I'm not going to call it until the break happens, right? The break, the retest, and then are we really out of here or not? Because it could just be a fake out. So, but there is a potential ascending triangle on the NASDAQ, but again, the earnings is at the end of this month. So try not to jump ahead of anything. Our weekly NASDAQ, we do have this MACD histogram building. Very nice. If we could hold this level above 11,300 range, we could see the potential like upside down head and shoulders if the earnings are good, etc. Our 4 hour, we already bounced off the low of the support trend line off of the Twitter crash after that. So similar analysis. See, the 1 hour on the NASDAQ futures is already pulling back. So we could see probably a support level about 11,900 or 11,830, somewhere there. High, low, high, low. It's probably going to pull back because we had this downtrend. We double bottom, we reverse, but we haven't had the higher low pullback yet to confirm the uptrend. We're losing momentum. So this thing's probably going to pull back at some point. The price. So thank you so much for watching and following. If you have a request for a stock chart or a crypto chart, just let me know in the chat. If you want to say hi, just let me know. And I am curious though, whoever's watching, if you trade crypto or stocks, just let me know in the chat and what kind of trader you are. Meaning, are you a day trader or a swing trader, investor, long term? Because that helps tailor the stream. So just let me know in the future as well. Okay, so those are the 3 indexes. Let's move on. Let's look at oil a little bit. I'll try to speed things up. The reason why I slowed down on those indexes is if I can chart as a trader and analyst, if I can chart those very well, then I basically know the direction of the stock market. Okay, it's not just about one stock playing one play. is where's the entire USA stock market going? This today or tomorrow or this week or this month? It's actually important. Okay, so US oil on the daily, we are having a little bit of this pullback on the price. We are bouncing off the 50% retrace Fibonacci. Our weekly is not quite super oversold, so this is probably going to be more of a day trading bounce play that traders, we already had it here on the $70 pullback on July 14 in the morning. But see if we can get a little trend change if possible, because on a 4-hour swing chart there was momentum building. It hasn't popped yet, but we had a double bottom here at the price of $71. So it could be interpreted multiple ways, multiple trend lines there. But if it does break bullish over time, there could be another 6% on that. But on the day trading time frames, it's kind of neutral right now. I'm not looking at oil futures. I'm just looking at the ETF. So in terms of support or resistance, just drawn in the blue line. Can't view it as a little triangle as such. So until it breaks out above $74, $75, nothing's really happening on a swing trading. But if it pulls back down to 72 or 70, that could trigger a upside down head and shoulders breakout attempt. But again, US oil doesn't really is more fundamental based, so it's not really all about the charts. UNG, when I was talking to my colleague, natural gas chart, about this chart, we identify the potential upside down head and shoulders on the daily chart. It didn't quite hit the target yet. It's supposed to be 18%. It might not go that high, but yeah, here we go. Okay, yes. So it's supposed to be 20%, but that's kind of too much. We could put that target up. 20% would be where? 2650 right here at the top on the blue X. I mean, there was that daily bullish momentum that was building for quite a while now. The weekly bounced out the 50 EMA and the 618 retrace of Fibonacci, the 4 hours in the uptrend, and the price right there for now. There was the downtrend, and then there was the uptrend as well. But are we going to get strong bullish continuation? We might not. We might not. The 1 hour's up crossed, also close to the overbought range. So we shall see. We shall see if it's going to pull back. It could. Yeah, 15-minute and 1 hour is a little bit in that overbought range. So just like S&P 500, but it's very earnings dependent. Let's go to gold. Go to gold futures. I try to zip through this a little faster. So gold keeps dropping. And as a technical analyst, I don't have to know the exact reasons why all the time. I just understand for charts about the price. So understanding that this was in a downtrend, and this is definitely possible. We lost the 382 level. We are in the oversold range, however. So this is better in terms of if someone's trying to play a long bounce setup. At a certain point, gold is going to bounce at a certain point. Okay, the day trading, it's different. It's kind of up and down volatility. But on the swing trading and the daily time frame, the conditions are warming up in terms of for this bounce. So we had quite a risk off sell off, but our supports are 1682, 1670. We have 1716, 1732 for resistances and support. We do have this little short-term 4-hour double bottom above 1700. If we stop dropping below 1700, that would be good. And then watch for the uptrend retrace. Back up possibly to like 1740. This is not financial advice right here, but you know, this is the bare minimum, 1% risk to 2% reward. But trying to time that bottom is a little bit tricky, so would like to see a little bit more price confirmation. All right, let's go ahead and just get Bitcoin futures in here a little bit faster. So I'm going to erase all this. So Bitcoin futures, CMA futures on Bitcoin. Now I did draw these two alerts last time. And the interesting thing is this looks very similar. This looks very similar, the price action, to what happened to S&P 500 and NASDAQ, except that Bitcoin didn't bounce up as high as it probably should have. One thing I do want to point out that I might publish this setup at some point, but you're getting here first on the stream, is there is a very, on the weekly chart for investment, there's a very large MACD histogram bullish momentum forming. This could take some time to play out though, months, possibly even years, 1 or 2 years. But we haven't had this double MACD histogram for a long time, actually, probably for about 2 years. And then we haven't had a low RSI reading like this for about almost 4 years. So that's why it's getting pretty significant now. We've dropped on Bitcoin from the top approximately 68% for Bitcoin. Altcoins might bounce first before Bitcoin does, because everyone has this kind of, a lot of people have a risk off mindset right now in the market, or people just on vacation, physically or mentally. So these alerts have been basically just letting me know what's going on. I might adjust these. So 20,000 is a good alert. You do 21,000 as well for a price alert. If you have a Pro Premium account, it's valuable. I'll probably put another one up here just for 22,000. Somebody might be wondering, like, why is an alert useful? Well, for swing trading, it helps because I don't have to sit in front of the computer 15 hours a day. I don't have to do that. So as a swing trader, I enjoy my freedom away from the computer, from the charts. So just put in some alerts, make sure I can see them. And it's one of the great perks of having a Pro Premium account on TradingView. So anytime this crosses, I'm going to get a message about it. So in terms of the TA, it is in a bit of a little bit of a symmetrical triangle right now. So again, Bitcoin as well, consolidating, waiting on earnings, waiting for the big move to happen. But we have been holding above 18,000, 19,000, 20,000. Better. If it kept dropping, then it's like, okay, risk off. But the fact that we're holding this, futures consolidating, is very, in the long term is, or medium term is healthy. The only thing to watch out for is, okay, are we going to get a fake out breakout of the resistance right here? Because if this is a relative resistance, well, might want to wait till it comes back to maybe 19,750 or something to try to play the bounce. But if it breaks out, retests above 21,000, it keeps going up, that would be fantastic. But again, the world is a little bit in a risk-off attitude right now. The 1 hour is up crossed on our EMAs. We can hold it. If we go to the actual Bitcoin chart, let me use like a Bitfinex, something clean. So actual Bitcoin cryptocurrency, it's slightly different charting pattern. So we'll see here. Right, it's in a little bit of a consolidation channel. This could be interpreted as some kind of dirty upside down head and shoulders or dirty inverse BART pattern for the crypto analyst. So it's just something to watch out for. There's a definite plus or minus, we can measure, plus or minus 10% approximately. So that would be huge. That's why my line's in the sand right now. Resistance at 22,000, support at 19,000, essentially. And we've been consolidating in there, just like the S&P 500, just like NASDAQ. So there's definite correlation connection between those two, the stock market and crypto market. So That's all I'm watching for. I know my big time frame, there's a lot of positive bullish momentum that's waiting under the surface. It's waiting under the surface. The 4 hour is here, except it's kind of on the slightly towards, it's actually neutral, but it did touch that overbought region almost. In terms of resistance, it's near closer to the top side. So, if somebody's going to try to trade this thing or go long, is maybe try a support level or below it. Playing a breakout, like let me draw it educational. The safer place to buy is whenever it touches the bottom. Buy low, sell high, right? So if somebody buys the breakout, it's like, well, it could just pull back and get stopped down and just lost, right? So, trying to buy low, sell high is generally, most people understand that that's the goal for trading, but trying to time these three spots, somebody has to be on the charts or setting alerts on something, whatever they're doing, to try to get a good entry. Hello, thank you for watching and following. Appreciate it. Okay, I just want to throw a Bitcoin in there before we do some stocks. So again, on the Discord group, I release a weekly watch list of volatility and some news. So I'll just bring that up on the screen for really quick. So again, what we're gonna look at is Netflix, Twitter, Johnson Johnson, Bank of America. We'll look at XLF as well. All right, so let's start with XLF, this ETF, because we just finished up finance earnings and we're about to finish it up in the next couple of days. But still, we had a double bottom here above 3065. That is good. That is good on the daily. We're still in a downtrend, however. So, trying to time the exact bottom sometimes is tricky. But if somebody could do it as a trader, it's nice. Again, this MACD histogram is building. Not quite seeing the price confirmation yet, but our 200 EMA is kind of our last line in the sand for bulls. We lost that on the daily as well. But this double bottom is good. But we double bottom into the resistance. So you can see almost a lot of everything we're going to look at today has a very similar looking pattern. Hello, welcome. It's either consolidating, right, going sideways, tightening, or it's bouncing up to the top side, right? It's like at a resistance or something like that. So everything looks very similar right now. Trying to process earnings, process the news. The 1 hour on this XLF is in the overbought range, so I'm looking for either a day trading breakout attempt or a pullback back to the middle of like 31.27 or about $32. So we just watch out for that XLF. So moving into Bank of America stock, you see the earnings. It's tomorrow in the morning. So on our 1 day, right? Because we just looked at XLF, this looks very similar. But there is a trend line here you could see above and below. So in terms of if it's going to break bull, it's going to pop up and pull back and then attempt to uptrend. If I just flash the Citigroup, that's exactly what happened. We went from, it popped up, right? So Citigroup popped up like 13%. If the same thing's going to happen to Bank of America, I think that's why certain traders who like to play earnings, I don't, but certain traders, they bought that before and trying to play sympathy play probably. Just watch out for that. Though there's no reason to play earnings unless, because in my eyes, unless somebody has some kind of data or they have an edge in terms of information knowledge, or that's the only company, they mastered that company news. I personally, I don't touch earnings until afterwards. So the 1 hour, again, still overbought. This is going to be the story of today's stream. A lot of these stocks could pull back in the day trading to 31.62 or bounce to $33. So our support level below is 30. So if it's, because we just saw Citibank, right? And like JP Morgan last week, they had like -3% or negative 10%. So that fits into the range, right? The average, let's say if it's like a 6% range, that would be $30. If it goes up 6%, that would be about 34.21. So just mark those two spots. Let's go to Netflix. So if you've been following Netflix like I have, you know that the news is that Netflix, they've been losing subscribers for many, many months, for several quarters now. And they're not the only streaming competition in the world. The issue right now is they signed, or they're about to sign, a deal with Microsoft to produce a ad supported tier, like a cheaper tier that has advertisement, most likely like ads or commercials, probably like YouTube, similar. But at the same time, though, is, where's the infrastructure for that? Because yes, Microsoft has like Bing ads. Google has Google ads. So it's just a little bit suspicious. One analyst I saw in the news was saying maybe they made the deal with Microsoft so that Netflix could eventually try to get bought out by Microsoft in the future. That would be very, very interesting M&A deal after the Activision news. So that was just an interesting analyst news that I saw about this company. As it stands right now, I'm not trying to predict the earnings, but there's July 19th. It's on Tuesday PM, and the price is still consolidating, just like NASDAQ, just like crypto in a sense. We're down here. So where's the support? 165, the resistance 205. There's a little intermediate support at 184, 185. I'll just leave that there. So on the weekly, though, is what I'm saying is there's some serious investing momentum on the weekly chart. Right, this MACD histogram is building, R size low, this thing's consolidating. So at some point, for me, I might actually buy Netflix at a certain point, right? I'm not going to try to time the bottom perfectly. It's just, I just need to make sure we're not like worst case scenario, this thing is crashing down negative 50% to nothing. So if I Fibonacci the life history of Netflix, sometimes I like to do this for fun, just when I have some free time. Just see what's going on, right? We're getting close to the 786. We're bouncing generally off of that price level. The 0.88, I mean, there's a lot of empty space down here. There's 135, 120, 100, there's 85 if it ever gets down to there. So 189, it depends, right? $700 Netflix was a little bit too overbought in my opinion. It's negative 70% off. But I'm just noticing that how low is low going to be, and they're going to need some serious revenue and subscriber growth in the next like 1 year for this 6 months for this stock to survive. But just like Bitcoin, just watching for the break. So people got really excited about that news, so they bought it up. The market went up as well on Friday, but it's still in that overbought region. So I'm not even going to long this yet because it's probably going to pull back down into earnings. It's possible. It's just the charts are saying it, but at the same time, it depends on the news. So it's going to be a pretty volatile week. Let's go to Twitter. So Twitter, the news about Elon Musk trying to back out of the merger deal, $44 billion worth. And Twitter's a volatile stock. Like I said, I did not trade Twitter this week. I traded NEO and made profit, and I was totally fine, right? Totally fine. So sometimes I don't have to jump into the most overcrowded trade on the planet. I will do it if I was. So to explain myself, it's not that I'm not scared of the trade. It's that I knew that if I wasn't in early enough on Friday or Monday morning, very, very early, that it's eventually going to retrace on me. So if as a day trader mindset, if I put my day trader hat on, I would have traded it. But I'm in swing trading mode or investing mode right now. So I'm thinking and planning my trades very differently than I was. Let's say when the Ukraine war first started, there's extreme volatility in the market. You don't see that. That's not normal. Or COVID, the start of COVID, that was extreme volatility. Almost like a black swan event is never supposed to happen. like that, but it does sometimes. So we have our resistance on top. Just try to do some solid TA. See here, we'll see here. So interesting. Twitter is kind of like Tesla stock in the fact that if you just draw some trend lines here, it's kind of turning into this strange, weird consolidation that goes to the side in a long term. Just finding that support, finding the pivot point. So all of this volatility, this is all Elon Musk buyout deal slash fail of the deal. Volatility up and then down, right? So sometimes being a long-term investor, if that happens, like, it's a little too volatile. So swing trading was great. I played the swing here and here as well, long and short. But as it stands right now, if there's a huge lawsuit going on, it's like, I don't get hyped up about that for the company, right? You want those like dispute stuff to be resolved. We need the truth and the final decision to come out into the world. So we did have that bounce up, however. So we do have a gap support at like 35, 36, resistance at 39 and 42. There's a lot of hidden resistances here. Twitter reports on July 22 in the AM. So Twitter used to be a really good investment down here. See, that's why it reminds me a little bit of Netflix chart, a little bit of an old Bitcoin chart before it pops up, right? So it's just this catalyst is something that I need to watch out for on Netflix or Bitcoin. So in terms of trend, it is still long term. It's basically consolidated. We hit this high and then we hit this long-term low. So if the earnings are good, I hope it's good for this company. We could see it attempt a weekly lower high if that's possible in the price. But if it's bad, then we could double bottom at 33 and I might want to enter a swing trade here. I want to enter at support or really, really oversold plays off for Twitter because I know it's so news-based. It's a very active stock right now. So when it's just floating up here and there's a little bit of bearish momentum building on the 1 hour, the 15 minutes neutral, it's an uptrend, but the oscillators are neutral. It's an uptrend. Still, you could see that the QQQ pullback that could definitely possibly happen here. Boom, boom, boom. And then try to pull back to like 37 or something like that. Right, so we'll see. We'll see what happens with Twitter on the news. Okay, so for the airline stocks, I think I'll just do the Jets ETF and then we'll move on from here. So Jets ETF, this is the old setup. So this is the airplane ETF for USA, basically. And you'll see a lot of travel stocks that have this pattern right now. We had the COVID crash. We had the COVID stock price crash in the price downtrend, and then we double bottom, and then we had an uptrend on the reopening news. If you remember that, if you're in the market, then basically the stock market crashed again, and then we're pulling back. And these travel stocks have not been doing well. Talking like airplane stocks or cruise stocks. If you look at like Carnival Cruise, retrace all the way back to the bottom of pandemic lows. I just looked at it on the weekend. It's kind of terrible if you're trying to invest in it, right? Literally, it went to the top, consolidated, and went almost back to the bottom. So Carnival Cruise got hit kind of the worst, but in terms of the Jets ETF, it's very similar. But one way I can look at it, that I'm looking at this, is like, okay, even with the summer travel picking up, I might have to put it up here. In terms of trading this or trying to invest it, I'm trying to wait for the lowest price possible. If it's going to happen, the weekly investment, again, it's not as extreme low as it was in the pandemic. That's why I think investors are risk off right now because of inflation and recession concerns. Even the 4-hour swing trading is not, we're not getting strong bounces on these airplane ETFs and these stocks. It only happens on earnings. So for me, as a trader, I'm not really interested in the airplane stock as much right now, unless there's some kind of setup where it's like a bullish momentum or something like that. But even if that happens, I'm not getting, I mean, it's 10%. If I manage to capture the bottom, 5 to 10%, it's a lot. But some tech stocks have moved more than that recently. So support at $16, resistance at $18, $17, that intermediate spot. You can't see it consolidating in the price. The 4-hour still in the downtrend. The daily still in the downtrend. So until it uptrends again, I'm not really interested in investing. Yes, I might miss the bottom, but it's okay. Because as it stands right now, there's no way to tell exactly where the bottom of this stock is going to be unless it's extreme. It's not extreme right now. So I'm just going to let the earnings play out for myself, for my trades. Okay, let's move on to crypto. Unless somebody has like a Forex request, I'm just gonna move on to crypto now. Thank you so much for watching and following. Again, I'm streaming live on TradingView, YouTube, and Twitch, and I have a Discord group as well. If you want to go ahead and follow me on those platforms. Donations are always appreciated on TradingView and PayPal as well to keep the streams going and the ideas flowing. If you have a request, go ahead and type it into the chat box before we end in about 25, 30 minutes. So total market cap, I did write these alerts. Again, even the total market cap is consolidating between my two alerts. Basically the 830 between the 930. So it's still on the downtrend. Now, this giant head and shoulders, has it played out completely? No, not yet. That was supposed to be a negative 90% drop. It didn't happen yet. We did go negative 50% down. And from the all-time high, we did go about negative 70% down. Close enough to the 786 when Bitcoin touched that 17,000 range. But again, what I'm seeing is, and this looks like chicken scratch, but if you turn everything off, and I look at momentum on the weekly, this back to histogram is building. I'm going to point it out, caught on stream right now, and we are oversold. Is it the bottom of the market? It's actually maybe. Or we're either halfway down, or it's getting there. It's getting close enough, because the last time, again, we had this big MACD histogram was here at the end of the, after the initial Bitcoin hype of 20,000 on this chart, all the way down to Bitcoin 3,000. And then what did the chart look like? It looked like MACD histograms building with the low RSI. Is that the same thing that's happening right now? It's soon. Soon for an investor, that would mean like a year, right? 6 months to 1 year. If we reverse, we could get a very, very strong bullish investment uptrend. Hopefully the stock market will reverse as well. Right? If they both reverse like in COVID 2020 to 2021, that's kind of like the best case scenario for stock prices and crypto prices right now. So on the daily, we're not really on any extreme right now. We're just holding the support level. The 4-hour, it's towards the top side of the resistance, right? So unless it's going to have a strong breakout and follow through, our targets are still there. 1 trillion versus 800 or 900 billion support, right? This bottom here, that was a setup. There's 1, 2, 3, just like Bitcoin. If somebody could catch it using alerts or setups, it's there depending on the time. So when was this on my time? This is 1 p.m. This was 1 o'clock in the morning, my time, or like nighttime. This is 9 a.m. So it's definitely doable if somebody has enough patience to do it and action and is really, really looking at it, because there's a 10% gain on Bitcoin in 1 week. So it's definitely possible if somebody basically knows what they're doing, they have good discipline on the charts and trading. So 1 hour, again, it's pulled back. It's in a consolidation to the side. The whole market is. So 15-minute is pulling back, not quite oversold range. 5-minute day traders going at it. Market's open right now in Asia. So hopefully the big bullish target would be our 1.15 trillion, our 618, and then our big support would be 721 billion, which would be our 76 Fibonacci. Let me do Bitcoin one more time for anybody who just joined. Just looking at empty chart on Bitfinex. So Bitfinex on the daily. Again, we did pull back. If I measure this, okay, that's kind of extreme, negative 95% or 80%. Okay. From the top, we are negative 70% down. From the break, we are down about like 40%. So Fibonacci from pandemic low to pandemic high, we are holding above the 786 level. So you can see what I'm talking about here. Just if you use support and resistance, there is a big support here at 12,000. There's a big resistance here at 30,000. Can we hold the 18,000 support, and hopefully the market has some positive outcome in stocks and NASDAQ and tech stocks. Crypto will likely follow. We need people to get excited again, happy again in their life. Inflation has to come down. Interest rates eventually have to come down. Risk needs to eventually, Bitcoin has to make its move. It's not going to consolidate forever into infinity. It has to make a move eventually. But we're either going to break 22,000 or we're going to lose 20,000. That's why I still have my idea, my swing trade, my profile is still up, still active idea. And now it's the patience waiting game as a swing trader investor. Day traders are going at it. They're really trying to trade this consolidation. Again, 3 setups were there, either short or long or short. And someone could actually call it not quite an ascending triangle, but a slight rising wedge. Okay. So the support on the wedge would be something like 19,700, the resistance about 22,000. So just waiting for the break of one of those. Okay, let's look at crypto list. So if we look at Ethereum, slightly different story. Let me bring up like a clean one. I'll just bring up KuCoin. It's global. Clean chart. The stream. See, Ethereum already had its little consolidation, and then we just try to get a little breakout attempt. Right? So sometimes sometimes the altcoins will go first because they are smaller, lower priced. And the big money is kind of holding Bitcoin down. Who knows? I'm not looking at the level 2 right now on my exchange. There could be large sell orders or sell walls on the level 2 right now. Somebody could be blocking it. Some of the whales could be blocking it. But we have 786. We bounced off that 786. So like I said, the target is somewhere up here. Last stream, I said about 1500, the 200 EMA. That's exactly what's happening right now. We have this large momentum again on the investment. Is this the bottom of Ethereum? Might not be, but I was expecting to get some kind of lower high bounce eventually. It should bounce. It would be nice if we could get up to like 2000 Ethereum or 1700 Ethereum, but it's the first resistance is at 1500. So if we could get there, that would be nice. But first we're going to pull back on the way, right? It's not going to go up in a straight line unless it's a pump and dump or something extreme is happening in the market. So on the 4 hour, we are approaching the overbought range. The 1 hour did pull back into the medium range of RSI. It's uptrending right now. But again, you can see the same formation with stocks and crypto. It's all related. High, low, high, low, high. Where's the low? The low could be 1264 or 1300. I'm looking for that if it's going to happen. Sometimes it just breaks above the resistance and it's fine. It's crypto. So just watch out for that. On Ethereum, Binance coin. This is probably the only Binance chart. We could use the Binance US chart. It's cleaner. So I'm looking at Binance USA chart for Binance coin. Same thing on the weekly. This MACD histogram is building. It's not quite there yet. It's kind of too high though, because I remember Binance coin when it was really low price. This is most likely some kind of 382 or something like that. Oh, excuse me, 618. It's bigger than it looks. So we lost the 618, we double bottom. And again, I'm looking for a low high low. Where's the lower high bounce? Where's the bounce? Is it going to happen in the next couple months? That'd be great. That'd be great. As an investor, say, okay, if I have to put some lower stop loss like that, just for educational purposes with a small amount of capital, basically people are just waiting for that. Is it the perfect time to buy now? If someone's trying to buy it, time it absolutely perfect, they're gonna miss that. Remember, there's the 3 spots with Bitcoin. If somebody's really charting actively or pre-planning their trades, the trades, they were there multiple days in a row. So again, it's short term, it's at the top of the resistance. The 4 hour, it could pop because I've seen this setup before. It could just bounce up to like a 267 or a 268. 1 hour, we can see. $375. The support would be under that, so 222 or 200 area. Resistance about 265, 300. I look at Solana. Solana, well, let's just do what I usually do is after I kind of go down the list and you see a lot of these crypto altcoins that have the very similar chart pattern, I actually go down and I see, okay, well, what doesn't have the pattern? What's different? So let's just go down the list. So I'm on a 4-hour chart, look at Solana. Let's just get everything for reference. Sometimes those alerts go crazy, but I actually want to know that. So Bitcoin, this is our Bitcoin chart frame of reference. Okay, so Ethereum already had the pop. Binance Coin already had the pop. Solana is still consolidating above resistance. Cardano is not in an uptrend wedge. Cardano is still in a descending triangle. That's not that great for Cardano. We hit my target of 42.50. Do we flash crash? We flash crash all the way down to 40, right? So this is what I'm saying. If somebody pre-plans ahead, this line was here 7 days ago. So if somebody's an aggressive trader, they would know to long that range because it's oversold and they would have had 12% profit in 6 days. Right? It's definitely possible, but with crypto and trading, you can't, like, a trader cannot be wrong 50 times in a row or 10 times in a row or 25 times in a row, because then that means that trader's bankrupt. Right? It's if somebody's really trying to use technical analysis, there are techniques out there, there are strategies out there available on TradingView and on the internet, and paid strategies, free strategies, it's all out there. Somebody's going to try to do that research, but trying to get this big dump, it was there. It's a whole number too. It's right above 0.40. And how do you know? How can we verify it? It happened there again. So just using support is one line and understanding the trend and where we are on Cardano. So do I want to long Cardano now? No, not personally, because it already bounced. This is the no FOMO mentality, right? Depending on the time frame of what somebody is. Like if somebody's an investor or hodler, that's a different story. But if somebody's a swing trader, there's a patience. If somebody's a day trader, also patience. Okay, so XRP towards this top side of the triangle, you can just see it visually, is it could pop up. Once it gets too overbought, then it's going to pull back. So just watch out for that. If it pops up, it pulls back. Watch out for that. AVAX already popped up, same thing. But that's what I'm saying. On this chart, I actually circled here on this area last time where the support area zone would try to kind of be. So somebody only needed, it's a large stop loss, but 10%, that's pretty large stop loss. But it did go 20%, right? So that's the perfect swing trading risk to reward 10% to 20%, but that's not all money all in. That's just small percent of capital, like only risking 1% if somebody's brand new. But do I want to long this right now? I do not. I do not, because there's 3 opportunities to get that bottom. And so if the price is going to pump up on me, it could, right? Because if I measure this triangle, and this applies to all setups, if I measure the triangle, which is already there, it's a plus or minus 30%. And you might be thinking, what? How is that possible? But it's a $20 stock, $21 crypto. So it's not that impossible. It's a $6 move. Enough traders trade this thing, it can move. Plus or minus $6. So the support's 15, the resistance 27. Right? 4 hour. We just broke out here though. So I like to see AVAX hold $20. If AVAX holds $20, that's very good. That's very good. Because we have to think about it from 2 perspectives. Okay. Let me just flip back to Bitcoin for a second. I was talking to my colleague about this over the weekend. I just turn off everything, look at the price history of Bitcoin. It depends on when somebody started with the price. So if somebody started when Bitcoin was $60,000 or $71,000, it's that old quote, is the cup half full or is the cup half empty? Meaning, is it a low price or is it a high price? So is it a low price coming down from 70,000 to now 20,000, 21,000? Or in my mind, is it a high price coming up from the pandemic low of $4,000? Right? So it depends on like one's perspective when they started in the market, what time frame they're trading or investing. Right? Because I remember Bitcoin when it was here, 4,000. I remember I was on the computer the day the pump started from 4,000 on up. I was in this. I was also here in crypto. I traded this. I invested and traded this. I haven't touched crypto because I know it has. I played this one. You can't see it. I played the one lower high bounce, but once I understood I played this one lower high bounce. Once I understood, wait a second, this is some kind of weakness, lower high, and then I just got out of the market because I can't short here in the USA. I can't short crypto. So that's why you never hear me talk about that. If you are in a different country, I mean, there is plenty of short opportunities for 3 months straight. But now that it's consolidating down here, it's like, I wonder if the scales are going to tip back into the favor of the bulls and the momentum, and can we get the price change, the trend to change? It's going to take some time. But it depends on the perspective. Go through these. Back on DOT, we did lose the support here, but then there was an upside down head and shoulders on a momentum play. So this is a definite play. This happened at 1 p.m. So any American USA swing trader could have gotten in on this one if they like DOT, if they even trade DOT. Dogecoin. Dogecoin. I highlighted this last time, 0.05760 as support. And then it just literally tapped it. So somebody could have got a limit fill order on this in your crypto exchange, right? It was actually 0.58. That was a very nice trade. 5% risk to 10%. I mean, that's swing trading right there. So again, crypto is all about timing. If someone's trying to trade it long or short, you got to be pretty active on the charts, with the charting at least, understand what's going on. How is it predictable? If I use Fibonacci, low to high, where that's right, literally in the 618 zone, on the dot. So that is not random. Okay, SHIB, USD. Well, SHIB held the 972 support level. And then there's the resistance up above, consolidation into the wedge, and this is that risk spot right there. All the there's confluence right there. You have a low. It's actually a 1 hour or 15-minute double bottom to my eyes right there. You can see it. You can see it on the 4-hour chart. It's very subtle, but it's there on candles. 1 hour is right here. So very interesting, right? The setups are there. So the problem is a lot of times when I stream on a Sunday evening. So I'm not streaming at like 9:30 in the morning for stocks on my time, because that's when I'm trading or working. So if you're watching my stream, you might not see together, we might not see the setup together, but then I mark it educational wise for potential area. And then, if you have a pro or premium account, you just set an alert for yourself that you're alerting yourself to a potential educational setup, right? If you want to paper trade it, that's even better for education, right? If you trade it with your own money, that's at your own risk, right? It's all about risk management, position sizing. Okay, we have a chart request from TradingView. AVGO, okay, Broadcom. Are we a stock trader? So this person, let's just look at it. There's no judgment here. Just take a look at it. So somebody's saying entry. Okay, you got to retype your entry, your exit, and your price target, because the stop loss is $8. I think there's a typo there. So you have to. Could you type that again, please? The stock is $500, so we'll come back to it. So MATIC on a 4-hour chart. MATIC, interesting. MATIC in the uptrend on the 4-hour. Very sensitive. It's subtle. But if we look at 10 cryptos in a row and then you see one that's going up, it's like, oh, that's it. It's different, right? You can see like Cardano was pulling down, not MATIC. MATIC had some nice moves up. So I remember, I think several weeks, it was last month, I remember talking about, watch out for this higher low setup and see if it goes up. And that's exactly what happened. We played the two setups. It was either watch out for the double top, right? But we drew this triangle last time and say, watch out for the breakout. If it's going to happen, it could pull back and then retest it. The problem now is after it happened, people get all excited about it. They see big green on the charts or on their phone on the percent watch list. They go, oh, something's happening. Is it well, the advanced experienced traders, they got in way earlier. Somebody bought here, somebody bought here, and somebody bought here, and somebody bought here as well. The problem is on the charts right now is there's double top on the RSI. There's resistance, so it's a bearish setup forming soon for swing trading. The day chart and the weekly chart says we could keep going up. So the thing is, MATIC, this is what I'm saying, is the weekly MACD histogram. I'm giving a lot of educational potential setups right now. This is like gold right now. If you're watching this right now, I could probably charge for all these, but I'm giving them away for free for right now, for today. So MATIC, right? The MACD histogram is huge. It's building bullish momentum. And then once we had this oversold on the RSI daily here, we had the nice bounce. What was that range? I mean, it's a huge range, 100%. I mean, how can we ask for more on crypto than 100% profit, top to bottom to top? That's what I'm saying. Watch it on these cryptos. This is not the only crypto that's going to do that. So other ones are going to do it too. You just need to find it on the chart and commit to it, right? You look at near, it's not happening. I just switched the chart. It's not doing that, right? So you just know where was the momentum? It was on MATIC. Although the only good thing about near is it did crash down quite a bit, and we're holding about the 0.88 retrace 287. Very good in this little channel here. Again, the weekly, if it keeps going down, I want to caution people. If it keeps going down, there's like a $2 or $1.50 support on the bottom side here. We did lose the trend line, that didn't look good. right? We'll see here. We had the double top. And then we pulled back down quite a bit. 50% down. It's not quite low oversold, so that's why near I'm not getting hyped up about it that much, but it is nice to see we held above the 0.88 retrace. It is nice. So the 4 hours here. It is towards that resistance at the top. We see it, right? But in terms of the volatility here, let me just bring up okay, so like 11 cents. The 4 hours is like 3 to 6% volatility. And we had 45% one time, but that's at the lowest low here, that very first time. There was some bullish momentum. So again, a lot of times when it starts consolidating, so you know, there's a long setup, no long setup, no long setup. Shorts had plenty of setups. There's a double top here, short setup, resistance short. And then the question is, well, is it going to bounce up again? Is it going to get stuck here? That's something I'm looking for on the price. Do I need to cancel? I mean, is somebody going to short that down to $3.13? So that's just kind of pre-planning, just understanding. It's consolidating because the market's not sure what's going to happen with earnings and inflation. So it could keep going sideways, and then we might get one more trade. But what I learned is, what I see a lot of the time is, if it's too obvious, like there's a 5th and 6th and 7th support, at some point it fails, like AMD stock. When it's too obvious, when it's too late. There is a lot of fear and uncertainty and just doubt and just kind of negative feelings in the market. But for crypto, that kind of comes with the territory with trading. It's so volatile. So just kind of have to get used to it. Atom, Cosmos hitting our targets. But you could see compared to near, Atom had a much nicer bounce up, just like MATIC. So let me just actually put Atom closer to MATIC on my list. Same thing, there's that one drop. This is more of a day trading play, 1 hour, 15 minute. Let me move the ATR. 1 hour, 15 minute, right in the morning. There's a stock market dump, but it's oversold and people love that right at the support level. 6:30 in the morning, which is 9:30 Eastern, right? This thing is popping up and it went to a whopping 25% in 2 days. This crypto trading right here, when it gets so crushed down, that was a perfect play. 5-to-1 reward to risk. Beautiful. Beautiful play. If you're a crypto trader, you love to see that. And please keep in mind, it came down into our support zone. If we Fibonacci from left to right, that was again the 618 and 786. Textbook trade. Somebody knows what they're doing. But 1 hour, 4 hour, there is this resistance here again, because we're looking at after it happened, right? So there's a double top here. So again, it's consolidating. If it drops below 880, this measure move comes in play, 6% to downside. Where's that? 840, negative 12%, 783. Those are two downside ranges. And then you can probably bet on it, educational wise. If it pulls back deep enough, it will bounce again, right? So this is the setup way ahead of time, like 1 to 2 weeks ahead of time. If it pulls back one of those ranges, right? If it bounces up to the upside, breakout, and the inverse is true, we could get another 7 to 8% bounce. So 6% to the top is $10. 1074, 1075, right? For the breakout. But again, it's a little too obvious. We get some great swing trading setups here on Cosmos. All right, I'm not going to spend the whole time on going this in depth, but I just get some serious education that I honestly probably could charge for it, and I might charge for it in the future. But in terms of the format of requests and stuff like that, but right now I'm just doing my style of charting and analysis, and it's a little bit more classical style, but it works. Just have to put a little bit of manual work, either each day or each week. So Litecoin. So what I found on Litecoin was we have some serious triple MACD histogram bullish momentum that's forming. Let me go on a better chart that has more data, a Bitfinex or something. There we go. So Bitfinex. You see Litecoin. Yes, in the old days, Litecoin was $2. But if I Fibonacci this weekly chart, where are we right now? We just bounced off the 0.88 from the high close to the bottom, almost 90% off. That's why I'm personally interested in Litecoin. I know it's not the most popular crypto anymore. It used to be, but not anymore. But the fact that we dropped from $400 down to $48 at a 0.88 retrace, can it go lower? Yes, it can. But then in terms of, well, it was 90% off Litecoin. I mean, if I went to the supermarket and there was Litecoin NFT sitting on the shelf for 90% discount, I'd probably buy some. If I could physically hold it in my hands. So just something to think about. Now, I don't like to shill anything, right? So I'm not trying to get overhyped about anything. It's just I'm calling down the charts. If this is the relative bottom, this is a great, fantastic price. Where's another support to the bottom? $29, $22. This thing could crash down to $1. It's a crypto. But the fact that we are at lower high and we haven't had our lower high bounce on Litecoin yet is why I'm interested in that. Where's my risk reward? If I just entered right now on the most random trade as an investor, just get a stop loss in here. So now I'm in investor hat thinking mode. As an investor, there is 50% upside with a 25% or 50% downside risk. So it's not the perfect setup of all time, but it's if we're just looking at price discount, if somebody likes Litecoin, I'm interested in Litecoin as an investor. I just need to see it not keep dropping anymore. I need to see this thing survive and at least consolidate. Okay, that's fine. And then get a little bull break, and then we'll be at 50% profit in no time. All right. Again, this is not all in trade. This is not financial advice. It's just a educational setup where people either want to learn or they could just take it. So Bitfinex, right? Yeah, the data, it's not the most volume, but we're right at resistance too. So we did on the daily chart, we did set our higher low. It's trying to bounce up, be nice, but 4 hour, we're getting to the overbought zone. So on the swing trading medium term time frames, this thing's probably going to pull back at some point. It's probably going to test. Day traders are going to test upper resistance, poke it up, pull back down. The next down could be an interesting entry, right? 1, 2, 3, somewhere here, $50. Looking at that support range, $50. Yeah. So if somebody's starting out, I get a lot of these questions all the time. Like the common question I get all the time is, what am I trading? What am I doing? Common question. I just told you what I would trade right now. But common questions are, when's Bitcoin mooning? When is Bitcoin going to 50, 60,000, 100,000? I mean, we're going to have to see the proof of the trend change on the charts, right? That's why you don't see me hype up Bitcoin $100,000. And if you just popped in the stream right now, I've been talking about setups for like 45 minutes straight. So I basically answered your question with this stream using technical analysis. But basically, I get those questions all the time. But we have to think about it like this: is the price going to jump from 20,000 and just magically go to $60,000 in one day or 1 week? It could happen, but probably not one day. But you know, the problem why people, one of the reasons like I see people having trouble is they do TA or they do whatever process they're doing like once a year or something, right? And again, this is my job, so of course it's my personal job. So, I do this like every day, every week. But, if someone's like a casual investor or something like that, they like look at the charts like once a year or once a month, and then it feels to them, to those people, like, why is the price jumping up all over the place? Actually it's not. It's going down through each number or going up through each number. So playing the support resistance setups is absolutely critical to understanding and trying to capture some setups. Also, if somebody really wants to know what I'm doing, that's why I have paid coaching sessions available for that. That's basically industry standard. So if somebody's just like jumping into my stream right now or just trying to hop in right now, I'm streaming live on TradingView, YouTube, Twitch, and Discord. If you want to follow me on those platforms, you get some educational setups, you get some real setups. Depends on your perspective too. And then if somebody really wants to learn hardcore style, is just set up a paid coaching session for me. We do a paid live stream, and I answer your questions for about 30 minutes to an hour. But it's paid though. It's private session. If you've been in the industry long enough, Wall Street. What does Wall Street do? What do all the big stock groups and crypto groups do? So for me, just coming up, like, I'm not getting mad right now, I'm just trying to explain it, is I'm coming on stream right now giving free education, knowledge, and setups to people like every week almost, right? So if somebody's just starting out, I would say, and everything is super confusing, is just focus on the price. Study the price first. Because if you've mastered support resistance, trend, and price, and you understand candles and candle patterns, which could take like a year to learn, then everything I'm saying makes perfect sense. Because I'm telling people where's the short setup likely going to happen, where's the zone it's going to happen. And for longs, where's the long zone going to happen? So it looks like I'm talking about stuff in the past because I'm reminding people of what did I just say last stream, of what potential zone it's going to be, and then which way did it break, right? So that's just a lot of clarity right there about what is that I'm doing here in the stream. Okay. So if somebody has a chart request or something, okay, let's just do the AVGO. So I don't want to skip that because I know it's just your entry. The number was off, but it's okay. I think I just guessed what you're saying. So let's go to AVGO. We're going back to stocks right now, Broadcom. And so this person, TradingView, is saying, okay, if we enter at 49.61, a price target, so it's a long setup, right? 496.61. Okay. So this is a good education, right? I really like it. I mean, it's not just me like it. It's very good when a trader thinks about, okay, use the long position tool, or you're using the paper trading practice tool here on TradingView, which is free, by the way. Entry price 496.61. as entry price. So we got to think about our entry price, the profit level. So this person, this trader has, okay, 511.69. Great. Stop price of, I'm going to assume that's like 480 something 62. So let's just type it in and see where it goes. Okay, it's probably here, like 480 something. Right, 46.74. So if this person's profit target is 3%, then okay, the minimum is stop loss, probably about 1.5% according to this. But the thing I would watch out for is it just bounced, right, on the daily. So if well, we'll go on our weekly. So we understand that Broadcom is not like, it's a popular stock, it has volume, but it's not the hottest stock in the world. So it's just something to watch out for. It has liquidity, but it's not like an Apple stock. You know what I mean? So just watch out for that. We're still downtrending as well. The only good thing is, and this is happening in a lot of stocks in the market right now, is okay, if we have the higher low setup, right, that's good. But now it's approaching resistance. So price resistance and EMA resistance up here, right? Like 523 to $500. So $500 even is literally the resistance on top. The big support on a day chart is 481, which is way below the stop loss. So it really depends which way the market's going to flip this week. And because we're in earnings, the charts have a little bit less power, so to speak, because again, we have Netflix this week, Twitter, Apple, Amazon, AMD, Nvidia, Micron, even Broadcom. They have not reported their earnings yet. Broadcom's going to report their earnings last. So there's quite a bit of space here for anything possible to happen on AVGO Broadcom. What's happening on the 4-hour chart is we could start to draw. There's a little bit of a sim triangle right now. So it is kind of at the resistance zone, right? Yes, somebody can pinpoint, okay, looking in hindsight, yes, there were several spots. Like for example, it was determinable, and you could find this. On this particular swing of July 5th to July 7th, I bought many tech stocks right in this zone, right here at the double bottom, because there's a lot of technical setup on tech stocks on that particular week and day. This, i.e. example, the double bottom of this price right here, a 4-hour. Right here, and then there's a double top. So, you know, if an investor, there's 2 spots to get in right here, or the liquidity shock down here when it shorted down here at I should call it out 41 or 465. So it depends. If somebody's going to try to invest in Broadcom for like 5 years, then who knows? Maybe this is the relative bottom, right? If we'll play this 3 scenarios. If we have a super 2020 COVID crash again, Broadcom can easily go to 400 over time. It might take months to years. That's going to happen, right? Low, high, low. We should get our lower high bounce if that's what you're trying to capture. Worst case scenario, it could crash down even more if inflation doesn't come under control. Swing trading, like I said, we're at the resistance level here. So I want to watch out just a little bit that the medium term time frame here, it could bounce up. It's kind of like on July 7th. So I'm just going to circle this on the RSI. Almost looks like it wants to happen again. So it could pop up. We do have, it looks like it wants to try to push up above the higher high of 500. So I'll watch out for that $500. But I'm just saying, let's pretend it, because you did do your entry. Where'd you do it again? 46? Or just kind of at the top side of that candle. So it must have been on Friday. Or maybe you're thinking about doing it tomorrow or something like that. Is watch out because you have a gap up here. So day traders, you know, trying to time the perfect entry is tough sometimes when you're at the resistance zone. So I wouldn't be surprised, yes, if this tries to go up a little bit and then pull back down. So maybe a support in the lower 483s might be an additional trade entry for a long, possibly. because it is towards the top side. It's gonna probably either pull back or bounce up a little bit and just wiggle around up here before it might lose momentum a little bit just because of the indexes are pulling back. So 15-minute is in the up cross, but at the same time is it's getting to that overbought range. It's not quite ready to pull back yet, but it's getting there. So hopefully that makes sense. I'm just saying, if this is because if we, let me see hold on, let me look at a different screen for a second. With AVGO on my terminal screen. Okay. So this thing likes to move 3%. So okay, the stop loss is a little bit tight in my opinion. If you really want like a lot of information about it, because the stop loss should be about 2 times bigger for a daily investment. So if somebody's investing, might need to give a little bit more wiggle room on the stop loss because the 1.5% is in the short liquidity zone of this candle, meaning the candles could easily get stopped out later. I'm not talking about tomorrow, I'm talking about later because there's quite a bit of time between earnings. So if somebody's trying to invest it, again, the 3% is a little slightly safer stop loss, but the problem is the entry because there are several entries down here, so that's in the past now. But again, this is more of a breakout play. So sometimes breakout plays work. You get another gap up and then you hit your target and you're done with the trade 3%. But at the same time though, is if it just pops up in the pre-market and pulls down, I mean, you actually might get stopped out if the market crashes on the earnings. So just something to watch out for that. But I like this example. This is a very good real-time example of a potential trade a trader might take if you just open the charts today and you're like, okay, what am I going to do in the market this week? But for me, why does it seem like I don't talk about my trades that much is because I actually don't physically trade that much, but I have a higher percentage win rate. If you're in my Discord, there's a whole giant list of what I do, what I traded. Okay. So to end the stream, I'll do about like 10 more minutes. If anybody has a chart request for technical analysis, or you have a question about trading view, just let me know. I'm going to open it up right now. Usually I don't do this, but let's keep going for about another 7 to 10 minutes, and then we'll log off. So I'll just wait a little bit. I know the stream is delayed, so go ahead and type in your stock or crypto chart request. While I'm waiting for that, I do want to do chart Johnson & Johnson. Let's do this because why? Because COVID cases are also increasing. So the COVID cases did cause the vaccine stocks to pop up to the upside. Johnson & Johnson, though, they do have their vaccine. I mean, it's old news now, but in about 2 days in the AM, they're reporting their earnings. Because if I flip to the stocks, what am I talking about? Like Moderna had a very, very nice pop up, 50%, 40% in 40 days. That's a beautiful swing trade right off the support level. What else was in the news? NVAX with the surprise crash. Right, even though, so this is what I'm talking about is just in case, I mean, this crash might not happen to people, but just in case, right? I actually did short NVAX, but sometimes if somebody's too late to the trade, it's best to just walk away sometimes. Because when there's a nice support level that's very visible on the screen, when you're touching 38.83 5 times, and then you get the reversal, and then you get an uptrend, but the target was from circle to the X. And it was a flash, unexpected, I would say. But the vaccine got priced in about 10 days before it actually happened. Okay. So we're going to J&J. Looks like we don't have any requests for today. But J&J, not the prettiest stock chart to look at. Consolidating. Yes, somebody could say, isn't this upside down head and shoulders? Yes, but it's not. If you know your chart patterns, this should happen way down here lower. So it's not really reliable. So this to me is more of a consolidation. Just tracking the general market. But in terms of the range, 4 hours, and the resistance at the top, like a 182, or like a 170 on the downside, bottom side for support and resistance play. This is very similar to what happened with AVAX. It already had, this stock already had the pop. Wow. This was, I mean, the volatility is not that much, but in terms of a chart setup, this was very obvious setup right here. Is you had this the crash down into a bullish momentum reversal play, bounced up. Now it's a matter of, it's probably going to double top somewhere in the 180 ranges or 182, 181. And then I can see this rallying possibly and then having a big money shorting this right before earnings. It's definitely possible. Definitely possible. And you might say, why? It's just the technicals until the news comes out. So there's the potential short. Let's look at something we don't really look at a lot. Prologis. I remember I did this. This is one of my big ideas, right? The stop loss was a little off, but I did tell people about Prologis, Realty Income Corporation Company, and then XL Real Estate. And this is one of the greatest shorts of the year. You know how low this thing went? Negative 33%. It's a fantastic short. This was in my profile. I published this a long time ago, many, many months ago. So this is what I'm talking about, is technical analysis. It does work. Just have to have some patience. A little bit of sweat equity, meaning a little bit of manual work. If I'm trading for you, having a pro and premium account is fantastic because you can actually save your work. If you have a free account, the chart doesn't save. It does not save. And you only get one alert, I think. So, you know, if somebody's serious about trading and investing and they want to really, really get into it, you know, there's free paper trading. There's all these tools that are free on TradingView. Indicators are free as well to use. And then if you want to save your work, then just probably have to upgrade to pro at least. If you're serious, then premium. But this is what I mean is if I did not set alerts and I did not find this setup and publish it, I would never have even looked at it. But it was good. Good setup. Okay, so I'm just gonna erase that for now. That's old history now. Now with real estate, what are we looking at? Okay, for Prologis, we're looking at the potential upside down head and shoulders. There's a combination of news that came out in the past couple of weeks saying, okay, housing prices, the mortgages, because the interest rates are stalling. And then also we have housing prices starting to decline or stall a little bit. So that means this fear of the housing market crash has been priced into a certain extent. If it happens to bounce up to the bullish side, there's 7% after the earnings. 131.23. If this pulls back down 7%, 113.84. If it's 14% to the downside, 105. We could also go 40% to the upside too, right? So just using that simple measured move of the potential upside down head and shoulders, or if somebody doesn't like that analysis, it's basically a triangle, a symmetrical triangle on a 4 hour. Also works too, but getting those two target zones into the chart is extremely important. Understanding it's in a downtrend. It hasn't had a significant lower high. It's trying to make its higher low and then try to pop up if there's anything good with sales. But right now, with inflation interest rate, might not be the greatest earnings report. Just watch out for that. So if someone wants to play support resistance, tight is 118, 122 for resistance and support. Okay, everybody. Looks like those are all the requests for today and the questions for today. Thank you so much for watching and following and supporting. So I am streaming live on TradingView, YouTube, and Twitch, and Discord. We have a free Discord group. If you like the stream, if you learn something, go ahead and give me a follow on all or any of those platforms. Donations are always appreciated. Cheer donations or PayPal donations as well. Again, this is an educational stream with many educational setups and information about technical analysis and trade setups for over an hour straight. So thank you so much, everybody, and hope you have a nice week. I'll see you next weekend. Bye.